Hey, this is Marie Wilson, and here's just a quick lesson on how I play the Goo Goo Dolls song, Come to Me. Alright, so the intro, the song is actually in the key of C, and the intro starts with playing a C chord, and what we're playing here is mostly the heavier strings, so we're trying not to play too much of the pretty light strings. We're going to sort of keep it nice and chunky, I would describe it as. Alright, so we just play the C chord. Alright, now be careful not to play the bottom string here while you're playing this, the first chord, the C, because it just sounds terrible. So make your bass note the C chord here, which is the fourth finger on the third fret on the A string, which makes a C note. So it's the C. Now the next part of the intro that comes in sounds a little bit odd for the first time you hear it, but what it is, you need to bring your thumb over the top of your guitar, as you can see here, and hold down that E string. So we're actually going to make an F bass note. So essentially the chord that we'll be playing is a C chord with an F bass. So it goes like this. Takes a little bit to get used to, just to kind of stretch your hand so you can continue playing a nice clean C chord and then stretch your thumb over the top. So it's not a stock standard, it's not that common used, but just practice it and to be able to play for the intro, and that whole progression continues through the verses as well. Okay, so from the intro, we're going to come into the first verse. So if we put them all together, this is where we're at, playing the C chord with that F bass. I'll be kind if you'll be faithful. All right, so we just continue playing into the first verse, and we continue playing that C chord with the F bass, and pretty much it doesn't change until we get to the end of that. The first verse is cut into two sections. Into the second section of that first verse, which is fortune teller said I'd be free, and that's the day you came to me. Now when we get into here, there's like a little run up, and it is starts on the C. So it's the C chord, so your fourth finger on the third fret on the A string, and then we play an open D, and then have your middle finger come down on the D chord to playing an E, and then have the fourth finger coming up on the third fret, but this time on the D string as well. And then we go back down, back to that open D string. So if we put that all together, now because I don't have a band or anything behind me, I do like to just play a few other strings in there just to sort of keep the momentum going. So it sounds something like this. Alright, so have a go at playing that, and then that comes out of that first verse, and we go into the which I play an F major 7. So an F major 7 is the fourth finger on the D string in the third fret, the middle finger on the G string in the second fret, and the fourth finger on the B string in the first fret. So that, and then we have an open top E string here. Come to me, my sweetest friend. So then we get into the chorus. Okay, so the chorus is fairly simple, and you want to play it with a lot of dynamics. So in that little doot-doos coming out of that first verse going into the chorus, you want to use that as a bit of a build-up. You can hear it on the track. You've got keys and you've got backing vocals coming in, sort of raising the dynamics a lot. So when you get into the chorus, you really want to let it fly. because also the vocals in that first verse are very low. So when we get into the chorus, we can sort of open up and really give it a little bit. So coming out of the, or coming into the chorus. So we start the chorus with a C. Come to me, my sweetest friend. Down to an E minor. Can you feel my heart again? Up to an A minor. I take you back where you belong. Now, what I play here is actually a G chord, but it's like almost like a suspended fourth. Well, it is a suspended fourth, but I'm not playing the top string up here. I'm just playing these kind of bottom strings. So it's a fairly heavily acoustic. It's not a real pretty song. So you want to be heavier on the bigger strings. So the chorus is come to me, my sweetest friend, to A minor, my heart again, take A minor, where you belong, this'll be our favorite song. Alright, so we just got the G, the fourth finger on the third fret on the E string, which makes the G, the middle finger on the A string on the second fret, and then I've got my index finger on the B string in the first fret. And I haven't got my little finger on anything. I've just let those strings open and try not to play too many of those top strings. This can be our favorite song. Come to me with secrets spare, which is back to a C. I love you more, so don't be scared, which is E minor. And when we're old and near the end, just A minor, we'll go home and start again, which is that G with the suspended fourth. And then we go back into our little melodic run. Take a little break then before you go back into the verse. You can it just brings the dynamics right down. So we'll go home and start again. So coming out of that first chorus, we go back into the second verse, which is exactly the same form as the first verse. So I won't go through that whole process. We come out of the second verse and into the back into the chorus again, which we've already gone over. So the next section that we sort of need to cover is, I guess it's considered the breakdown section, and it does drop right down. So today's the day I'll make you mine, so get me to the church on time. So in the actual original recording, there is very little. I think it's mostly sort of keys going on in the background. There's not much in the way of guitar. So you want to just keep the dynamics really low and bring the song right down so that we can sort of start to build it back up again. Today's the day I'll make you mine, so get me to the church on time. Take my hand in this empty room, you're my girl and I'm your groom. Come to me, my sweetest friend. All right, now this is where we start to build it up again. Come to me, my sweetest friend. This is where we start again. So those chords there, my sweetest friend, which is a C, up to an F. This is where we start again. A minor, down to a G, up to the F, F major 7 again. Again. So we don't go any do-do-dos this time, we go straight into the chorus. So what we're doing is from that breakdown, it's right down, and then we just sort of start chipping it back up again, and then we launch into that chorus. Come to me, my sweetest friend, can you feel my heart again? So that's pretty much the different parts to the song. The rest of the song is just sort of putting them all together and just making sure you give yourself the dynamics in the song, so that it's just not all gung-ho from the start. Give it dynamics, bring it down, and then make the quiet bits really quiet, and then make the loud bits really powerful. And because it's quite a powerful love song. So you want to give it the dynamics so that it's got that interesting part about it. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any comments or you've got any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Marie Wilson Music, and also check me out on Facebook, Marie Wilson Australia. See you later.